Welcome to Duo Chat with Brittany and Cynthia, where we talk about drama shows from shows ranging from the 90s to today.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany,
And I'm Cynthia.
and today we're talking about Season 4, Episode 7, titled You Had Me at Goodbye, air date November 15th, 2000, and the synopsis is...
While Andie is recovering from her drug overdose, Jack blames Jen for the incident, while Jen blames Drew for her life falling apart. Andie's father tells her that it would be better if she were to spend the rest of the year in Italy. Meanwhile, Joey is conflicted when she must ask Dawson to write a letter for her college acceptance form.
Now, what did you think of the opening scene where, of course, they just set it all up with the... Is that the counselor now? Or is it just the college advisor?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Okay, who has just a college advisor?
I think she was just visiting the school for that day.
Yeah, but she was there when they were all sitting in her office, remember?
Yeah, I think
Talking
it was
about college.
for like a whole week maybe to interview everybody.
Interview, it seems like she works there. She's over there in the filing cabinet getting something out.
Yeah, well, I guess we just never saw her because they were too
I know,
young for
but what
college.
school has a college advisor? Like
I
for
don't know.
us, it was our counselor.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird that they had a personal college advisor.
Yeah, maybe
They're
they
in a
just.
small town. I could see like a big city would have all of just just all these names, like all these titles for jobs. But I feel like Capeside is so small that they would just have like one counselor, like us, that just did it all.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
They don't live in they're not Beverly Hills. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe they just had the budget for it, I guess. I don't know.
It's weird because I
Mm-hmm.
thought that old guy was the counselor.
No, it's Mitch right now, currently.
Are you sure it's Mitch? Because I got some questions on my page.
Yeah.
I have no idea what his job is. But we'll get to it. Um, so this college advisor
Mm-hmm.
said, "Oh, you're just missing one thing." Of course she's only missing one thing. And it's a written what was a written essay?
Yeah.
On of course the title is The Person Who Knows You Best.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be written by one of her peers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, peer review.
And so obviously then it goes, because she's like, close your eyes to Joey and now open your eyes. Who's that person? And of course, it doesn't tell us. And then it goes right to the intro. But I mean, who did you think it was?
Dawson.
Okay, now who is that? Who you think that it should be?
Yeah.
Quit looking at me.
You think it should be Pacey?
No,
Okay.
should be Jack.
Jack.
I'm just kidding. Or AJ. Just kidding. No, okay. Here's the thing. Yes, Dawson does know her. I don't really know how well, but he does know. They're movie buddies. I really don't know how well he knows her, okay? Let's be honest. Because the first 3 seasons he didn't know her very well. All of a sudden this episode he just knows her so well. Which we'll get to. The writing is so off on this show. I can't. Because this episode, they're acting like Dawson just knows her. And I never saw it for the first 3 seasons. But anyway, yes. I mean, it has to be between Dawson and Pacey. Yes, it should be Dawson. Because Pacey is starting to know her.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now, if she had to write the last year of her life, it would be Pacey.
Right.
But if it has to be somebody that is about your whole life,
Mm-hmm.
that has known you, it would be Dawson.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe what they should have made clear.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just, because think about it. If you want somebody that, could write from, your whole experience of your last year
Mm-hmm.
and how much you've changed, then Pacey should be the person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Dawson hasn't known her the last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been Pacey. And my thing too, though, is I kind of would want Pacey to write mine just because think of all the nice things he would say.
Mm-hmm.
He has a way with words, okay?
Yeah.
He says stuff I've never heard anybody say before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can only imagine what he would write. I'm just saying. But then again, I feel like the only person he would actually write that about is Andie. You know I have an issue with this episode.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Andie,
Why do we gotta talk about Andie?
well, Pacey's at her house.
I know. What is up with that? I can't. Cynthia, I can't.
I guess he's still.
Why?
I guess he still feels bad for what
Why?
happened, and
He didn't do anything.
I know maybe he's just making it like effort to be friends with her, just so like he can keep an eye on her and she can come to him if she feels like she did before, because he still cares about her either way.
Nope. What?
Well, she did have.
Okay, you're okay with this?
Yeah, not he shouldn't be hanging as much with her because he hasn't been seeing Joey that often.
Ding, ding, ding. Who's your girlfriend? Andie or Joey? Boy, figure it out. Who's the one? Didn't she? Wasn't the last episode he said he was in love with Joey?
Yeah.
Why aren't you spending time with Joey?
I don't know. He's just spending time with Andie at the moment.
Andie's all clear. She's good to go. Why are you still hanging around her? She's not in the hospital anymore. Time to move on. Okay, the thing is, he's acting like he's the boyfriend, okay? And he's driving me nuts. Okay? And also, put yourself in Joey's shoes, even though she doesn't say it. I'm thinking for her, okay? I am upset for her. She doesn't even have to be upset. I'm so upset at Pacey. She doesn't even have to say anything. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
Aren't you mad at him for Joey?
Yeah.
Like, think if that was your boyfriend and he's spending time with his ex.
Mm-hmm.
And he's caring so much about her.
Yeah.
Remember when Joey could have got abducted and raped and all of that with that scary guy in the first season?
You mean the serial killer?
No. Yeah. Yeah. He turned out to be. I forgot that. See, I even forgot the ending. Yes. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care then. He left her in the car.
Yeah, well, they weren't dating.
He's not dating Andie. You see my point?
Yeah.
My point is, why isn't he caring about Joey?
I don't think anybody even was like thinking that they're gonna even run into a serial killer. I don't know. And at the time, too, Pacey was too concerned with Ursula. So.
Well, right now he should be too into Joey to even care about Andie, and he's not. He's driving me nuts with this.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys, you and JC told me that he's always he's always focused on the person he's dating.
Yeah.
Remember when he kind of gave up Joey and went to Andie?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now he's with Joey and he's still concerned with Andie. Like, I thought he'd cut the cord with that. Like, when's he gonna cut the cord? I can't with him.
Like I said, he just still cares either way.
He should care about the person he's dating, otherwise he's not gonna have that relationship.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, and also, okay, see how much I am not liking this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you should be happy I am totally against Pacey right now. Because also, he wanted Joey to cut the cord with Dawson, remember?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why isn't he cutting the cord with Andie? Explain that one to me.
I don't know. Maybe it is just easier because Joey is the one that wouldn't say something about it.
But he wanted Dawson to go away, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And for Joey to focus on Pacey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now would be a perfect time for you to show Joey she's the one. You know? And especially, it's very hard to even say that he should be the one to write it when he's never around. You know? It's very hard to be on his side and feel sorry for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't feel sorry for him when he's with Andie. Because he's driving me nuts.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he just needed to talk to her in this moment. Because everybody's still icing out Jen for giving Andie the drugs. So Andie told him that we can move on without moving away from each other. Maybe he needed to hear that.
No, I'm talking about why is he bringing her homework still?
I guess
it's that. It's one thing to sit there and talk to somebody, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But he's actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
This is what I have the issue with.
Yeah, because Jack could have gave her homework.
They're twins. They're in the same classes, I'm sure. Yeah. So he could just go. I'm sure the teacher has the homework ready. He can just hand it to Jack.
Yeah, I guess unless Jack's at soccer practice, but still, He could have still
And
gave it to
also,
Andie.
and the other thing
Jack.
is, ding, 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 isn't Pacey supposed to have 3 extra classes after school? How does he have time to go to those classes that we never see him at in order to graduate, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then also get her homework and take it to her. And think, he probably does the extra step too of going to her home to pick up the homework and send it back to school.
Yeah,
Because he's so
probably.
interested that it's driving me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't defend him. I don't like it. And you're liking it?
No.
I am so offended. I'm sorry. He has a girlfriend. Spend time with her. And otherwise, you can't say to get rid of Dawson because you're not getting rid of Andie.
Right.
I'm sorry. You can't say it. And then you can't expect someone to cut somebody out when you're not cutting that person out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, the drug thing's over with.
Mm-hmm.
This new episode, she's back to normal.
Yeah.
So, he really should cut the cord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also, and the other thing is, I could see if she truly didn't have any other person to bring her homework and it made sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any sense. She has Jack. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, like, I remember, like, having, I remember there was, like, one time my brother was in middle school and I was in elementary. And, obviously we're not in the same building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his homework was all sent to the office. Remember? They did that. And I went to the middle school office to get his homework. And again, I'm not even in the same building as him.
Mm-hmm.
But I was dropped off to go get his homework from the office.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, even if she had a younger sibling,
Mm-hmm.
the younger sibling could even go get it. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
it's perfect that Jack would get it.
Yeah.
But even if Jack was the little sibling, he
Mm-hmm.
could have still gotten the homework. Like,
Yeah.
there's no excuse that Pacey should be the one to bring home the homework. There's no excuse.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for it, is what I'm saying. Is I could see if she had nobody.
Right.
Because even in my situation, my brother didn't have anyone, like he didn't have a sibling in the same building, but he had, but I was still able to go get it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So again, it just doesn't make any sense. And again, even if she didn't have her brother, her dad was home. He could go into the office and get the homework.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no reason why Pacey should be there.
Right.
Except for the fact that he's still in love with her. And I can't, because he's supposed to be in love with Joey.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, their writing is off.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. You're not showing us who he's supposed to. And the other thing is, I feel bad for Joey, because she's sitting here beating herself up over who should write this. And her boyfriend is all basically living with Andie right now at this point. You gotta feel bad for the girl. Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's so into worrying about this. And I agree with Gretchen when she actually gets the advice from Gretchen. I agree with Gretchen. Like you shouldn't be beating yourself up. Like, you're the one that's going to lose in the end, and you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Put yourself first. And
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, especially if this wasn't going on, the whole Andie thing, I might feel sorry for Pacey. But I don't. So 1000% it should be Dawson. Because I'm so mad at Pacey.
And then Dawson is still painting at Mr. Brooks' house, apparently. Even though I feel like didn't he pay him back this time, at this point?
Did he what?
Pay him back for the boat or not yet?
No, this is literally, I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Another one for you. I've always got questions for you. As if someone,
Yeah,
I
as
love
if
how,
I wrote the show.
No, as if you've seen the show.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Because you remember last time you're like, why do you keep asking me questions? Like, you know more to it than I do.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, how many hours does he have to work for Mr. Brooks?
Yeah.
He's been working every episode for Mr. Brooks, and I can't. And I want to know. See, Dawson's being very nice because he's not letting Joey, like, he's not expecting her to help, even though it was her boyfriend that was trained at on that. Okay, yeah. Well, I really turned into Dawson. Oh my, like, on Dawson's side. But think, put yourself in Dawson's shoes. I can't believe I'm saying this. Put yourself in Dawson's shoes. Your best friend took, okay, as Dawson would say, he stole the girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go and save his life, right? When he shouldn't even been out on the water.
Right.
He should have known better to check the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Because the weather updates every so often.
Yeah.
And even if you're going out, and then the thing is, why was he out there so you can see how bad it is when you start to get out there.
Right.
I'm just saying. So he kind of put himself in the situation. But anyway.
And Jen.
Huh?
And Jen.
Yeah. The two fools were out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, Dawson risked his own life and went out there.
Right.
Like, and then your ex-girlfriend / friend, Joey, that's her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And you did that. And then she's not even helping you. You know what I mean? The dude is gonna, he wants you arrested. And he don't want her arrested?
I guess because Dawson was the one driving the boat.
She was on it. It was her fault.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And Dawson should have that's why I did like his comment when he said to her when she came up and he was like, oh, did you feel something about did you feel guilty that you're not helping me?
Mm-hmm.
I laughed at that because I was like, you know what? It's actually true.
Yeah.
It's kind of her fault. He should not have been out there risking his life.
Yeah. And then Drew never got in trouble for giving Dawson the keys either.
That's what makes me mad too, is there was other people involved in this boat situation. Dawson did not take the boat. Okay, he did, but
it was given to him.
Who gave him the keys?
Yeah.
And first of all, Drew said that this boat is his parents.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you, if I said to you, here's my parents' boat, here's the keys, you would just assume it's my parents' boat.
Right.
You would never be like, are you sure? I mean, this was a life and death situation. You wouldn't be questioning him.
Yeah.
You would just go along with it.
Yeah.
So the fact that
Drew wasn't even the person to trust in the first place.
Well, I know, but it was life or death.
Yeah.
They had to get out there. I still don't know how they got out there that fast.
Yeah. I know.
Does that make any sense?
Mm-mm.
How they were able to get out there that fast in a storm to catch up with Pacey and Jen.
No. And then weren't they?
I still don't get it.
And they're supposed to be in that cove or whatever, that little cave. They're out in the open.
I know. And how would you get out there that fast, though?
Mm-hmm.
If Pacey and Jen went out there 5 hours before you, they're 5 hours ahead of you, you would never make it to them.
Right.
In a storm. Then we add the storm to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I'm sorry.
Right.
Only a helicopter could probably get to you. Or if there was already a boat out there.
Yeah.
So that still doesn't make any sense. But anyway, yeah, Drew never got in trouble. Yeah. How? He's the one that said, and that's what I don't get is why didn't the writers say, put Dawson to say to Mr. Brooks, I didn't know it was your boat.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know until Mr. Brooks said, you stole my boat.
Yeah.
Because all this time he thought that it was Mr. Valentine's boat. So I don't get how that, to me, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I still want to know how many hours he has to put into his debt.
Right.
I'm still trying to figure this out. Yeah. Because he's been working nonstop at Mr. Brooks' house.
Yeah, and he hasn't had time to do any of his college forms either.
How is he supposed to go to college if he's always at Mr. Brooks' house?
I know.
When's his time to actually do his homework?
Mm-hmm.
Think about when we were in high school. We had hours worth of homework.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he doing the homework at? Mr. Brooks isn't going to let him do homework at his house. He must stay up way past midnight.
Yeah, and then everybody's still ignoring Jen at school. Even Jack when he sees her in the hallway and turns around.
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Yeah.
I didn't care because Jack just needs to... Okay, here's my thing with Jack. Is your sister who it happened to isn't upset. So you shouldn't be upset.
Right.
And plus your sister did it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so tired of everyone acting like Jen did it. When...
Jack.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Why is everyone so upset?
Right.
She She smelled it. She's literally told Jen, I see the
Mm-hmm.
pills. And again, they're both old enough to know better.
Right.
You know, like when your parents tell your older sibling, like, oh, you know better to about your younger sibling. Like if you both get in trouble, they're gonna blame the older sibling. Like you know better. Your sibling is younger than you, so they don't know better, sort of thing.
Not really because of our age difference, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But I'm saying if you had two children, you
Mm-hmm.
would probably tell your older one, you know better.
Yeah.
And so, stop it sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't tell or you can't tell Jen that because they're the same age. This is what I don't understand is you can't blame Jen. They're the same age, you know?
Yeah.
Andie's not a kid. They're just treating her like one, and it's driving me crazy too.
Mm-hmm. And then Drew walked up to Jen's locker
Okay, what did she say? Something about odor?
and
Because when he said,
questionable.
because he was like, guess who or something.
Yeah. I think she said questionable order,
Yeah,
maybe.
she had a few things to say, and I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm. But then Drew, starts talking about how like Jack's not even talking to her and says it's like old times and he's still by her side, even when everybody left her. And like
And
Jen
then,
says,
well, yeah, and then she was saying something about, I'm sure you got it worded, but she was like saying something about like, even if everybody left me, like, I still wouldn't turn to you. What was it
yeah,
that she
for
said?
support. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course he's not gonna leave her alone after that.
So, all right, going to, when Pacey walks in after being at Andy's house,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't even know that Joey's there. How did Joey get there? Did she really walk?
I guess. Or drove.
Well, if she drove, he would know she's there because when he walks in, he doesn't know she's there because he's looking at the ground when he walks in. And then he sees that she's sitting there on the couch. So that's my thing. How did she get there? How did he not know that she was there? And because it wasn't like he got out of the car and was so excited that her car was there, sort of thing, Of like, I haven't seen you. I'm so glad you're here. And he still didn't even have that reaction.
Maybe Gretchen picked her up and dropped her off.
But he still didn't have the reaction that he was so excited to see her.
Yeah.
When he walked in, it was kind of like, hey, what are you doing here? It's like, she's your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you still forgetting who your girlfriend is?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this episode he has no idea who his girlfriend is because it's driving me crazy because he's not acting like he wants to spend time with Joey at this point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, they kiss, and then, Gretchen was like telling him that it's his time to go grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to know how they're affording the place
Yeah.
because she's a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think waitresses are buying beach houses.
But she's a bartender. I don't know if that's a little bit better, but yeah.
But I don't think they're buying beach houses.
Mm-hmm.
And does Pacey have a job?
I don't know.
We don't see him doing anything.
Yeah, we don't know about the video store.
Well, I don't know how he would have time now that he's got 3 extra classes
Right.
that we also don't see him at.
Yeah, because, oh yeah, Mitch, he's told Mitch that he wanted to work, but he couldn't because of his classes, so he shouldn't be working now.
Well, then how are they affording this?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, I did think it was funny that she said, "You know what today is?" And he said, "Thursday is the day after Wednesday."
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And then that's when, after he leaves, that's when Gretchen gives Joey the advice to
Mm-hmm.
put herself first. And then she says, "What are you asking Dawson?" See, everybody knows it should be Dawson.
Mm-hmm. And then Andie's watching TV with her dad, and that's when he brings up that she can finish. She's basically done with her credits, so she can take off the rest of the year and spend time with her aunt in Italy.
Okay, and I have a. See, our school was so set up differently.
Right.
How do you know? Okay, do we have the same mindset? How do you think? What do you think I'm gonna say?
Well, we needed like 4 years of was English, science, and math, I think. So like there was no way we could have just took the rest of the year off without getting those few extra credits left.
Ding ding ding.
and like only get half of them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, and you had to take the full year.
right.
You couldn't just leave in January.
Right, but this is 2000, so she probably didn't need all those classes that we needed. So
Yeah, but
this is probably
because that
easier.
was my thing was we weren't even if we had because like I told you I did the other program because I had all my other credits. So the only credits I needed at the time were English. No, I think all we needed was English and math at that point because art was a
Extra.
extra and anatomy was extra because I actually didn't take anatomy the first day. My friend actually convinced me during the summer to take woodshop.
Mm-hmm.
And the first day we were there, we looked at each other and said, nope. And then we took anatomy, and I said, well, this ain't any better. I hated anatomy, but it wasn't, we didn't have to take that year of science. So it was just English 12 and math because everybody had to take consumers math, all the seniors. So those are the only two classes that we actually had to take. So for me, those four classes are what I took, and I didn't need two of them. So, um, yeah. But the thing was, we had, and the other thing was, we couldn't make those 2 years up our junior year. We couldn't take consumers math early. We couldn't take English 12 early. Everything had to be done that year we were in, you know? And the only way I think you could get away with 2 years of English is if you had to repeat one, you know? Like if you had to repeat English 11 again to make up for that year. But other than that, we weren't allowed to jump ahead and graduate early, like apparently Andie can. Wouldn't that be nice if you could?
Yeah.
That'd have been so nice. Especially because I did get held back. It probably would have been nice to graduate with my actual class that I was supposed to. You know? It probably would. Why didn't we ever get that offer to graduate early?
Us because we got held back or in
No,
general?
just in general. Like, you guys are basically done. Like, junior year, they could have told us, hey, you only need these two classes. Why don't you just take them now and then you can graduate? You know? Like, all of our credits are done.
Yeah.
Because my senior year was stupid. Like, I didn't need it, except for those two classes. You know?
Yeah.
What classes senior year did you need?
Um, I think just consumers, English, and science, or we didn't need science. I forget
We
which
didn't
one.
need science. We needed to for science, we only needed to take physical science,
Mm-hmm.
chemistry, and biology.
Right.
Those are the only three we had to take.
Yeah, then just
And
those.
anatomy was just if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
That's why some people didn't take it.
Yeah. So I did find a chart for 2000.
Hmm.
It looks like the same as ours basically
Then
for
how in the world did she graduate? Or she could leave early.
yeah, 4 credits English, 4 social studies, 4 math. Oh no, 2 math, 2 science, half a year of health and 1 year of art. So,
Then this doesn't make any sense that she would be able to skip her senior year.
mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know.
And again, back then, I'm sure it was just like now for us. We weren't
Mm-hmm.
allowed to take classes early.
Right.
Like the reason why we had upperclassmen with us for those 3 years were because they had to make those classes up
Mm-hmm.
to graduate. But we weren't able to be little sophomores taking junior classes. It just
Yeah, unless you skipped a grade, but that was really rare.
okay. Well, that was early. But I'm saying to graduate.
Yeah.
They only looked at your 4 years. They didn't look at your whole career and say, "Oh, you missed a whole year."
What if you would take the GED before graduation, like you just decided to be done earlier?
You know what's weird?
Hmm.
They always, in high school,
Mm-hmm.
teacher-wise, they always acted like if you got your GED, you were less than.
Right.
That's what the way they basically told us
Mm-hmm.
was you need your diploma in order to go to college, in order to get a good job or get any job, unless you want to work at McDonald's. Like that's what they basically said, right? You have to get your diploma because it's better than getting your GED.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at jobs, Cynthia,
Yeah.
it says GED or is equivalent to your high school diploma.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, they don't even ask you to see your high school diploma.
Right.
So, and again, if it's the same, they just want you to either have one or the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Why in high school did they tell us it's better than your GED when in reality, jobs only care that you have one or the other. They don't
Right.
care that you got your diploma is above a GED. You know,
Yeah.
it makes me mad that they made it sound like if you had a GED or you were going to get one, you were less than the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that somebody who got a GED is less than me who got my diploma.
Right.
And sometimes those people are smarter than me, you know? But I don't think that just because you got a diploma means you're smarter or better.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, sometimes if you got a GED, you're probably better off because you may have taken it, like you said, maybe earlier than the rest of us. So you got a jump start at your life than we did. We were more behind than they were.
Mm-hmm.
And also the same thing too, if like you went to Omni, you still graduated.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's not like the job is going to go, oh, you got a GED or, I don't like it because again, jobs don't care.
Mm-hmm.
There was a thing that somebody posted of like, most jobs don't ask you. Like, have you actually had to show your diploma?
No, just my college degree.
Okay. That's the thing is like for your high school, it's like, oh, this matters.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was purposely looking for jobs that required a degree, so that was just a requirement. But if I was filling
Looking
out
for
for a job
any,
that
yeah,
was just high school, then maybe it would have been required. I don't know, because I never looked at those kind of jobs.
it doesn't. But I didn't like that they made it seem like we were better
Mm-hmm.
if we did.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, if you are an educator, I don't feel like downgrading the people that have GEDs is a good idea. Do you?
No.
If
No.
you're supposed to make everybody equal, right? Okay, what if your parent had a GED? You're going to tell a student that they're better than their parent
Right.
and make them feel like they're better than their parent. Like, I just feel like because that's what they made us feel like, as an educator, you should never disregard someone else's life. Aren't you supposed to teach everybody that everybody's equal?
Right.
Instead, they made us feel like we were better and to look down on others.
Mm-hmm.
When, as educators, you're supposed to build everybody up, not tear them down. And
Right.
that's what they taught. That's what they taught us. That's the way they made us feel. And then I get out in the real world, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, you know? And I just wish educators could realize that you didn't matter. Like, honestly, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, quit treating everybody like that because it doesn't. Just like in high school, it's like, oh, well, you have to go here, or no, you don't. You know what I mean? To get an education. Like, I'm at a better school. Because in the end, do you really think it matters? No.
No.
And that's the thing is, they're just taught differently in school. you know?
Mm-hmm.
Can I bring up Mitch for a second?
Yeah.
When Jen walks into the office, principal, I don't even know, someone's
The principal.
office. Sure. Who's the principal? I saw Mitch, Grams, Mrs. Valentine, Drew, and the corrections officer.
Yeah.
Where's the principal? What is Mitch doing in there? And what is Mitch? Oh, I almost said that. What is Mitch's job?
Well, he's supposed to be the counselor, so he's supposed to be like there to help
Where's
them.
the principal?
I don't know. I thought he was there.
He wasn't.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah. It's just Mitch talking.
Yes, it was Mitch basically doing the talking until Mrs. Valentine cut in. And I'm like, literally, I was like, I wrote, why is Mitch in there? And what is his job? Because I am very confused.
Maybe they hadn't hired someone new to play the principal yet, so
It doesn't make any
they just had
sense.
Mitch fill in.
No, it doesn't. No. You don't write it that way. It doesn't make any sense that Mitch would be in there.
Maybe they had someone lined up to be the principal, but the last minute that person couldn't do it, so then Mitch.
Cynthia, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm just making up ways that this could have gone and how it did.
We'll put an extra in there as the principal. You know, just an extra body.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't even have to be someone talking. It just made it seem like now Mitch is the principal. Like, he's not the principal.
Yeah, well, you still wouldn't have been happy either way, because then next episode we would have had
I
somebody
know.
else.
Quit going ahead. Cynthia, one of these times I'm going to slap you across the room. You can't jump ahead. Stop it. Just because you've seen the next episode doesn't mean the rest of us have.
Well, you have.
I've seen them all.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure anybody listening, probably mostly people listening are already
I
seen
know,
the
but we
show
go
too.
episode to episode.
Okay.
So I said you can only judge what's happening in this, or you can judge previous episodes
Mm-hmm.
that could explain why. But Mitch is, I feel like, has gone from every job. I feel like in this school,
Mm-hmm.
he went from a sub to a long-term teacher to the football coach to the counselor to maybe the principal. I'm so confused. He's
Yeah.
becoming Mr. Feeney.
And isn't he so, like, manager at the restaurant too?
Who knows? Is he ever there? And that's the thing. He's there when they want him to be there.
Yeah.
Like when Gail's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he's there. I don't know. But literally, I had no idea why he was there. And even if he's the counselor, the principal would be the one to orchestrate this whole thing and speak. Like, Mitch would just be there to just be there if he's the counselor. You know?
Yeah.
So that didn't make any sense to me.
And then Jack is
Oh,
looking
about
at
that
his
scene.
emails.
No, about that scene.
What scene?
The one I'm talking about, the one with Mitch and Grams and
Oh.
Jen. When Jen walks in, I literally, how it was just kind of set up with like how it kind of, she walks in kind of, I don't know, it felt like it was a dream.
Yeah.
I don't know, at first I was like, is this a dream? And then it just wasn't going away, and I was like, oh, it's definitely not a dream. I don't know, because it was so out of the blue, I think. That's the reason why I thought it was a dream. Because why would they have someone from jail? You know, they didn't have the police there.
Yeah.
They literally had somebody from the jail.
Yeah, it's because they were involved with drugs and their
But the police would have been there. The police would have questioned her, not somebody from the prison.
Well, I guess they didn't want Doug to be there or their dad, Pacey and Doug's dad, I guess.
Oh, well, they already had Mitch there. Why not bring more family to this?
I don't know.
And Doug's a part of everything, remember?
Mm-hmm.
That he just would have been a part of another story. Remember about Dawson's storyline with Eve? He was the cop. Like, a cop would have been there. Think of if that happened at like our school. A cop would have been there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they would have been the one asking the questions, not Mitch or not the
counselor.
Well, no, I'm talking about not someone from jail.
Oh yeah.
That it just didn't make any sense. I'm like, where's the cop?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't they just say that's the cop?
I don't know.
That's why I literally thought it was a dream. I was like,
No, I thought they were gonna get arrested because he
this
was
is
there.
comical.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have another thing.
Yeah.
Okay, like think if that happened to you. Like if that was you. If
Mm-hmm.
you were Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't your mom be like full on your side? Like
Um.
like in public, she would probably be on your side, and then behind closed doors, she'd probably yell at you. But Graham's was fully against Jen. I was like, okay, it's one thing to be against her at home, but like out in public, you should be on her side. You know? Kind
Mm,
of like how Mrs. Valentine, she was on Drew's side. And it was like, she could be covering for Drew, who cares? But that's her son, she's going to be on his side. And then at home, she can scream at him all she wants. Why wasn't Graham sticking up for Jen?
because Jen had a past with drugs
Okay,
already.
but that's my thing is still be on Jen's side in the public. I mean, she could be arrested and you're not going to be on her side. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, if Jen did something wrong, but she
Cynthia,
didn't in
if
this
that was
case.
your
But
kid, you would be like, no, my kid. Like, you would not interrogate her in front of everybody else. Like, you would not be on their side. You would be like Mrs. Valentine. You know? Like, if you really cared about your kid, I feel like I'd be Mrs. Valentine. Like, my kid, if even if it was Drew, like, you would still be on your kid's side. You would not be against her. You'd be against her home. But it didn't make any sense that Grams would just call her out in front of everybody.
it made sense to me.
Not to me. I'm like, nope.
I thought she was going to kick her out of the house again.
Well, yeah, I mean, that could have happened, but the fact that just in front of everyone, that's what I'm saying is that would have been behind closed doors where she could have done that. Just not in front of everybody.
I was surprised I only got 100 hours of community service.
Cynthia, your mom would defend you to the end.
Well, not if I was Jen. She'd probably say that she's disappointed in me.
But, okay, but she would say that behind closed doors.
No, she wouldn't.
Yes, she would.
No, I think our families are different.
No, I think your mom would not call you out in front of everybody.
She might. And then, Jen is still trying to send Jack emails to talk. He keeps deleting them.
Is it really Jen sending them or is it Andie?
No, I think it's Jen. Because she comes to the house later after Andie
Well, that's because
responds to Jen's email.
Well, that's because Andie's the one that responded. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's just okay. And Jack, here we go with Jack again. When Jen does come to the door, and then he yells at her again and slams the door in her face. And then he looks at Andie and says, "There, I talked." I was like, "What?" Like, you don't make any sense. At this point, Jack to me is just laughable. At this point. Like, he's so dramatic. He's becoming Dawson. I thought
Mm-hmm.
Dawson had the role of dramatic, not Jack.
Yeah.
Dawson now has given up that role, and it's gone to Jack.
Mm-hmm. And I felt bad for Jen because she's tried everything and even told Jack that she would never abandon him for making a mistake like this.
Well, that's because Jen's done it all. So it's like she can't. Like if it happened to Jack, she couldn't say anything because she's done bad things too.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And then Joey shows up at Dawson's, about to knock on the door to tell him about the letter, but then changes her mind. So she turns around to walk to leave, but then Dawson comes up because he's carrying something. So she kind of has to talk to him.
Say that again.
Because she first went up to the door, about to knock to tell Dawson about the letter, but then changes her mind about telling him. So she turns around, goes to leave, but then he's walking up behind her.
Was that at his house or was that
Yeah.
Mr. Brooks' house? Because that's when he tells her, do you want to carry this paint or do you feel guilty that you aren't helping?
I don't know. It was somebody's house.
I
Either
thought it
way,
was
she was
Mr.
gonna leave.
Brooks because he was painting.
Mm-hmm.
So he was carrying the paint.
I thought maybe he was just picking it up to take to his house. I don't know.
But, well, and then that's when he says you have your favorite face on it. I'm sure you like that. You're on their side.
What?
I know you're Team Dawson over there, so
No, what? You said his face?
know that she had her favorite face
Oh,
on. And
favor.
I gagged to that.
Hmm.
No, I said I'm sure you like that part.
Well, it just shows that he still
No.
knows her.
Can I bring this up now?
What?
This is the writing.
Mm-hmm.
What I have an issue with. Okay. If you're going to write that Dawson knows her face,
Mm-hmm.
you have to, and this is season 4. Season 4, which means we've had 3 previous seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would be able to be like, you're right. I agree with this, that he knows her so well. But the 3 previous seasons, he has not, anytime, she hid. He didn't know her face. He couldn't tell what she was thinking. Every time, he did not know what she was thinking. That's why they fought all the time. It was when he would be nosy and figure something out. Like, it wasn't when he would look at her, he would just know what she's thinking. Like, you mean to tell me that he knows her so well? He does not know her so well. Do you remember season 1? He didn't know her. He didn't know that she liked him. And you could tell. Let's see here. Season 2, you didn't know that she didn't like your film until you read her diary. Let's see here. Season 3, you didn't know that she liked Pacey. I mean, all of these things that for the past 3 seasons, we have not seen that he just knows her that well. And now in season 4, you're going to tell us that they are so close that he just can look at her and knows what she's thinking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't buy it at all.
I guess they're just trying to make it look like that he could be one of the people that could write the letter for her.
Yes, but again, if you're going to write it that way, you should have shown us in the last 3 seasons that it makes sense. Where I would be able to say, you're right, that comment that she says makes sense. But it doesn't. Like, it doesn't add up. To me, it just, the past 3 seasons, like, if this would have been season 1, maybe, where you're just now showing us who Dawson and Joey are, then it would have made sense. But we're jumping now into season 4, and this doesn't make sense. You can't tell me that he can read her face. Because you can't. So that's what I'm saying. Is it's laughable. Yes, it's cute that he knows her so well. But at the same time, they haven't shown that he knows her so well. That's what I get annoyed with. It's not that he knows her so well. It's that they haven't shown it. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's the writing that isn't done well. We should have been able to figure that by seeing the last 3 years. And it hasn't been done yet. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yes, there was that one scene where they were at that wedding and he said, "Oh, like, I can read your face." Everyone could have read her face that she was upset. Like, that was a no-brainer. But to say that she has a favorite face, that's something that would mean you know her so well. And I just haven't seen that closeness in the past 3 seasons that he would know her. Because think about it, if he knows her faces, he would know everything that's went on with her for the past 3 years. And he hasn't. He's been in a different world from that. So, no. That's what I don't agree with, is that writing part. But I do agree that he should be the one to write it. I will give him that. And again, it's not the acting. It's the writing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even the characters that I'm upset with. It's the writing. That doesn't make any sense. Because the characters only do what the writers, it all comes down to the writers. Now, I have a question. When he's painting, and then, that's when he's thinking if he should write it or not. First of all, I was like, wow, he's been quick with that painting. But also, did you like that he ultimately said no? Like, did you think he was going to say no?
I don't know, not really.
You
But
thought he
it
would
does
just
make
jump
sense
right and say
since,
yes?
well, it does make sense since they haven't really talked that much in the last year or so.
That he'd say no?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because that's the thing is, the past year, he doesn't know her.
Right.
So he can only write on the past. He can't write on the person he knows today.
Yeah.
Pacey could. And that's why I said, now, what kind of essay do you want about yourself? I guess that's, that'd be the question. Is you've changed. So do you want this version or do you want your old version? And then that would determine who writes it, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, so when Dawson, though, tells her, okay, here we go. The setup where he's telling her at the dock that he can't write it.
Yeah.
He's not the person. Okay. And she's talking to him. She cannot see. Here we go. This is back to season 2
Okay.
with Jack. Remember when Dawson was standing right behind Jack
Oh,
at the
yeah.
dance?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't know that he was
Yeah.
standing. We're going back to this because she's literally talking to Dawson. And right behind Dawson is Pacey.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me that she did not see him?
I guess. I don't know. Gotta make sense. He, like, if it was like a minute or even like 10 seconds after, maybe, but he was like right on it the second Dawson like stood up.
It was perfect camera
Yeah.
where he's right there. But I'm like, how is it? She couldn't see him walking up.
I guess. I don't know.
Cynthia.
I don't know why you asked me these questions when I didn't write the scene.
Because you either agree or you disagree with this. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I don't agree. That didn't make sense. It was too
Like,
quick.
she's at the dock, and I feel like it's a little steep, like where the
Yeah.
grass is. So you would be able to see Pacey come up into your view
Mm-hmm.
and stand there. So the fact that you can't see him walk up means it doesn't mean it means that this is just set up for the camera, because in reality she should have been like, Pacey's hi Pacey, like,
Yeah.
just like she should have seen Dawson standing beside or behind Jack.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Remember we questioned that
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't. And think about it, sometimes too you can feel somebody walking up behind you.
Right.
How is it he couldn't hear Pacey?
I guess
It
he's too focused on Joey. I don't know.
it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was like, the fact that she couldn't see him.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect for the camera, but not for the actual scene.
Yeah. So since he was so close, Pacey should have been able to hear at least the end of their conversation.
Mm-hmm. And again, she should have seen him.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't see him until Dawson walked away. That's bullcrap.
Yeah.
She would have seen him the moment he walked up. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then Pacey finds out, about the letter and he's mad, but then she points out, like, you haven't been around for me to tell you.
Which is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is my point. I
Yeah.
don't feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not around. And then he's like, well, if you are so mad that I am paying you with Andie, she's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm like, but I am.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I'm cutting in.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, so Joey gives Pacey the list of times Dawson was there for
Oh.
her in her past.
Oh. So when he said that it's not. He said, I'm not mad that you asked Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
He said, it's the question.
Yeah.
He said, when do I get to be that person?
Mm-hmm.
And then, this is me. Okay, this is what I would love to say back.
Mm-hmm.
When you stop spending time with Andie, that's when you can be that person.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're that person Okay, so the person that Dawson is to Joey, that he knows her, that's the person he is to Andie, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my point is when you stop spending time with her, that's when you can know everything about Joey, right?
Yeah.
So stop it. When you and that was the thing was when you start putting me first, then you know you should then you'll be that person because at this point I don't give a crap if you're that person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing like me as a huge Pacey lover, I didn't give a crap at that point about him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Cuz he was making me mad with the Andie storyline.
Yeah.
Like I didn't care that she asked Dawson. I actually agreed with it. I actually agreed that she should put herself first and I didn't care if Pacey was mad. He had no right to be upset. She had a past before him.
Yeah.
Okay. Um if somebody had to write that in his life, who would write it?
Joey. What?
For Pacey?
Oh, I thought you meant Dawson. Um,
No, I'm talking about Pacey.
Dawson?
Dawson would probably write some horrible things about
Yeah,
him.
I don't know. There's not really that many.
Okay, girl wise.
Gretchen?
You're really trying to circle this.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, Joey, but if it was
I don't
how,
know.
like, his whole life. I mean, Gretchen hasn't even been around for a while, but I don't know. Can't say his mom. His mom hasn't even been in the show yet.
I don't know. He might ask Andie,
Oh, yeah.
is my point.
Yeah.
Is when you ask the question,
Mm-hmm.
you have to also think about your own life.
Yeah.
Who would be the one to write it for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And also, you're not in that situation where she is, where she has to figure, that she's going to hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like, you can't get mad at it, at the question, because Dawson has been there for her. And you can't get mad at that. So that's my thing is if it was him that had asked somebody who's been there the last few years of his life, Andie. So she would be the one to write it. You know what I mean? And because think about Joey and Pacey haven't really. They tried to put them together, and I think they got too close. And then they just split them up and threw Andie in the middle. And remember, because they had the banter first, and then Andie came along and kind of replaced Joey.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, Andie would have wrote it, not Joey. So we have to then think of that situation too, if the roles were reversed. I'm just thinking of all options to hate on Pacey at this point. Because I'm not happy with the Pacey and Andie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Andie should leave?
Um, I don't know. It does seem like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Because after that, after senior year, she's going to be stuck in school again for another 4 years.
And then working?
At least, yeah.
But my thing is she running?
Mm,
Like
kind of, but kind of not.
The Andie that we met,
Mm-hmm.
she wanted to do all the school stuff that you do in high school.
Yeah.
Remember, she wanted to go to dance and dragged them all along because she thought it'd be fun. She wanted to go to the pep rally. She wanted to participate. So the fact that she would be the one, and even Jack kind of says it, like that you would be the one to bail, isn't like you.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Is she running? Does she think that if she goes, that she'll be better and that it won't happen again?
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah.
like that's what I'm wondering is it running? Because it's not like her to just give up her senior year when she's kind of been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like if Dawson had an opportunity to go to film school early or something, that
Mm-hmm.
would make sense.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense that Andie, who loves school, would just leave.
Yeah, I see it more as like giving up than um running away, really.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, you're running from your problems
Mm-hmm.
instead of just dealing with them.
Yeah.
And I also kind of think, too, the writers maybe realized because season 3 wasn't good for Andie,
Yeah.
there was nothing really happening, that maybe this was a way of getting her out.
Mm-hmm.
What did she really have that was big in season 3 besides the stealing?
Um,
She never really had main storylines.
right. It was just one time.
The test,
Mm-hmm.
and then the confronting Mr. Green,
Yeah.
and that was it. That was
Mm-hmm.
the only thing in season 3 that stood out of Andie,
Yeah.
of like that could be an A storyline.
Well, she dated Will for a minute, but then that
That
ended.
wasn't an A storyline.
It could have been. I feel like if they just hadn't moved to Cape Side.
Yeah, but I just feel like this was a way of pushing her out, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
what, like sitting in the writers' room. What could we do with Andie
Mm-hmm.
more than we've already done?
Yeah.
Um, and okay, so when Jack and Andie are talking, and she says that Dad said that she could leave. Um, and then she says, where she's going. Jack says, we haven't seen her since, and Andie says, forever. Was that a way of Jack trying to say since Tim died? But they wanted to be like uplifting, so they just made Andie say forever.
Maybe, but
Because it could have been real downhill if he would have said, it could have brought the scene down if he said since Tim died. You know what I mean? And then it would have brought up Tim.
mm-hmm. I think too, because they were having money troubles for a little while there. So maybe that could have been it. Like they couldn't afford to fly over there.
Or it could have been, too, their brother. Because it's only been, 3 years since he died?
Yeah, maybe.
So it could have been that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to go to where Dawson is painting and what seems like forever, and then Mr. Brooks tells him to come in and eat before he passes out or something. Um, all Dawson says was, "This is really good," and then Mr. Brooks says, if something about because Dawson's talking, and he said, and I thought it was funny when he said if they wanted people to talk, they would call it the talking table. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah, because apparently he was mad that Dawson wasn't like the kind of teenager that liked to be quiet while they ate.
All he did was say this is really good.
Yeah.
And it was awkward,
Mm-hmm.
just the two of them sitting there.
Yeah.
And he felt the awkwardness.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for Dawson. I was like, man, he's got to sit there with this old girl
Mm-hmm.
who can't stand him to begin with.
Yeah.
And then my thing too is they bring up his brothers,
Whose brothers?
Mr. Brooks.
I thought he had one.
No, I said my brothers.
Oh, I thought your
Because
brother.
Dawson was like, oh, who's in these pictures? And he said, oh, my brothers. And then he tells a story of how he loaned them money and the deal fell through. And, sometimes you have to just cut people out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, my question was, do you think that Mr. Brooks cut his own brothers out, or did they cut him out of their lives?
I thought it was both, maybe.
Like, I feel like maybe Mr. Brooks was so mad at the deal going south that they had the nerve to ask him for money
Mm-hmm.
that he just cut them out. But he seemed sad about it, like they cut him out.
I thought maybe he gave them the money and then cut them out after the business went under.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. But then I was like, I don't know. He just seems kind of sad about it, you know.
Yeah, maybe because like they couldn't pay him back, so he kept bringing it up.
I
But
know, but if you're the one that cut them out, like
mm-hmm.
you could probably still work it out with your brothers.
Yeah.
Like they didn't cut you out, you cut them out.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you're that kind of sad about it, isn't it easier to pick up the phone?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Maybe
not.
you'd have family around.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of your doing if you cut them out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, he did tell Dawson you don't always lose people from your life by choice. Sometimes that just happens when you make the wrong ones.
well, that's what I wondered if they cut him out,
Yeah.
and that's what you could feel sorry for is like
Mm-hmm.
they cut me out, and now I'm just by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wondered is who cut who out.
Maybe they kept asking him for more money. after they failed the first time, and they got mad that he said no, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So when Andie's telling Pacey that she's moving, or she might be moving, she says Jack moved, and Pacey says he moved across town, not across the world,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was funny. So it was funny though, going back to the Dawson telling Joey that she's not writing, or he's not writing the letter. I thought it was funny because she's like, she tells him that he's a slow writer. That's when she realizes that he's saying no, because she brings up he's not a fast writer.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. I'm like, that's definitely true. How long does it take him to write his scripts?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he doesn't even finish them, it seems like.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I thought maybe it's a little dig at him. Oh, and then Pacey tells, that same scene, Pacey tells Joey, play date? Like, I don't know, was it yours and Andie's a play date? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, the difference between Dawson and Joey and Pacey and Andie is Dawson and Joey, yes, are exes, but they were friends first.
Yeah.
Pacey and Andie are just exes.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be hanging out together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. This is why I have a huge problem.
Well, Dawson and Jen are friends.
Yeah, they barely dated. They never said I love you. They dated for a hot minute.
I know, it seems like some people can be friends with their exes after
And
a while.
they're neighbors. They're
Mm-hmm.
kind of intertwined to be in each other's lives.
Yeah.
Um I mean, it would really be toxic if they were ignoring each other as next door neighbors
Mm-hmm.
and also going to the same school. So then we go to Andie getting the gang together one by one.
Yeah.
And, she's telling them that she's leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells Jack and Jen the reason why she thought about staying is because Jack wouldn't have a sister. And then she realized that he does. It's Jen.
Yeah.
I thought that was sweet.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And her speech just was making everybody cry. It was
Yeah.
cute to see everyone emotional.
Mm-hmm. And then she's telling each um like little pairing of
Groups.
yeah, so like PC, Dawson, Joey, and then Jen and Jack, how they should just, start getting along because she doesn't want to leave them how they are. And
Well, she's
giving
gonna leave Dawson, Pacey, and Joey as they are. The only one she can fix is Jen and Jack.
yeah, well,
Let's be honest.
I still liked how she said that they were lucky to have friends that have known them their whole lives, and in the end you always go back to the people that were there in the beginning. So I thought that was nice.
I don't know if that's the truth. I mean, if they've burned you, you're not gonna go back to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because you grow as a person, and you get wiser, and you're like, I'm not gonna trust that person again.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you don't go back to the person, who was there from the beginning, because sometimes those are the people that burn you.
Yeah. And that
Um,
was sweet how she said that each person taught her about love and friendship. And the way that things are right now is not the way she wants to remember them. And acts if they do.
when she says about remembering them, there's a Rascal Flatts song,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like how they remember us.
Oh.
And then when she said that, I was like, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. Can we cut from that sappy thing to another sappy moment?
What?
Pacey and Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go with why I love Pacey and Joey.
Yeah.
As much as I was dogging on him this whole episode, here it is when they were talking and they both apologized at the same time. And then he says he reacted like Pacey, and she says, you know who you reacted like is the person who's going to know me in 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Best. And then she says, Dawson knows my past. My future lies with you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a big thing.
Yeah.
Um, And I'm like, see, this is the thing, is they can get through anything, and I say it all the time. You know what I
You sure about
mean?
that?
What?
Well, you keep spoiling me, so I already know what's gonna, not exactly, but I know what's gonna happen.
What?
They're gonna break up.
Well, the writers did that. I'm just saying that they can get through anything. They keep showing. Think of Dawson and Joey. They did not get through everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every little thing was a battle to overcome, and then most of the time they just broke up.
Yeah.
You know, like they didn't when they got together in the first time. It was already rocky. You know, and betrayals going on. So it wasn't good. So this was like the first time like you're really seeing that there's a couple on the show that can get through it all. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
thought it was Pacey and Andie, but it's not. But I thought it was sweet when she said that.
Yeah.
And then of course then she says, sometimes we have to deal with our past, like the
That,
people.
yeah, we used to love. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the camera cuts to Dawson and Andie, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just talking away.
Yeah.
Okay, my thing was, how long has Andie been on this show?
Couple seasons.
Yeah. And we have not seen Dawson and Andie in a scene, just the two of them just talking away, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is the first time, and she's leaving.
Yeah, it was, the last time was just when she went over his house and trying to see if Pacey liked her or not because she liked him.
Yeah, but it was about Pacey,
Mm-hmm.
and it was awkward.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait a minute, it's not like these two are friends or anything. They're just a part of the group. Like, they got friends in the group.
Mm-hmm.
They are not friends. And it was just weird as we're supposed to just believe that these two are having a great conversation.
I think it's
Because
possible.
no, Dawson and Andie are two like awkward people. So I just thought it was funny. I'm like, 3 seasons of Andie, and we're now seeing Andie and Dawson as a pairing of friends? I don't think so. But I did, what I did like though?
Mm.
Is the ending, and of course the song playing is what?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
You didn't pay attention to the song playing?
No. I probably didn't know. That's why I don't remember it. But that was sweet how Jack and Jen made up. Um, yeah, I thought it was sweet how Jack and Jen made up at the end. And because she was outside the restaurant crying, and he's like, "Is that the girl that used to tell me everything?" And she's like, "Is that the guy that used to listen?" Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, finally they make up him because I was so tired of Jack being dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dawson and Joey talk, and then he says, he brings up him writing it. Is the
Mm-hmm.
offer still on the table?
Yeah.
And she, and of course. And I was happy that he's now going to write it. Now I have a question though.
Mm-hmm.
I always got questions for you. Um, he says he was afraid of what would happen if he wrote it down.
Yeah.
What? Like, what is he afraid of if he writes it down?
Maybe
I'm confused.
he might realize he doesn't know as much as he thought he did. Maybe because they haven't been that close in the past year.
Yeah, but then he agrees to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. That was confusing.
I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean were afraid of writing it all down?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Maybe,
understand that.
maybe if he might realize he still has feelings for her. I
But
don't
he
know.
knows he has feelings
I
for
don't
her.
know.
I thought the same thing was maybe he would realize what he doesn't have,
Mm-hmm.
because he's in love with her. But my thing is, he knows he's in love with her.
Yeah.
Like, that's why him and Pacey aren't friends,
Mm-hmm.
because he's in love with Joey.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get why that was even said.
Yeah. Yeah, do I?
Yeah, that confused me. And then we go to Pacey and Andie talking. Their final their
Oh, yeah.
final
Mm-hmm.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Um, I want to know what a stalwart is.
I didn't even write that down.
What is it?
I don't know. How do you even spell that?
I don't know. I was like, I never heard of that.
Let me see the scene.
Like, I don't even know how to pronounce. Like, I don't know how to spell it.
Who said that now?
Pacey. The one with all the words? I'm like, Like, is this a 90s term? They were talking about words to use.
Let me see. I'm playing the scene now.
Yeah.
She's talking about how he gave her strength to do things. There we go. There's the word. SGA. Loyal, reliable, and hardworking.
Is that the first time you ever heard it?
Yeah.
Me too. I was like, what is that, a 90s term?
No, it's just
a term that's never used.
Advanced term that people that knows dictionary very well would use probably.
Pacey knows a dictionary.
I guess. Yeah, so and then Pacey's asked if she can leave a little bit of her optimism with them because she sees how the world is wonderful until proven crap. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, and it's usually true about Andie.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course they all go in and they get the picture.
Yeah. Did you see how Andie purposely put herself in between Pacey and Dawson, and then at the last second put them together, and she went to the other side?
That was on purpose.
Yeah.
And this picture
is in black and white.
What's that supposed to mean?
Shouldn't it be in color?
No,
because it's not like Dawson used an old camera. It didn't have color.
He probably did.
No, I looked at it. It looks like around modern time back then.
Yeah, but Dawson, hasn't he been taking black and white photos? Aren't all of his pictures black and white?
I don't remember.
I think they're all black and white.
Okay, yeah, then that would make sense then.
And also, this picture comes back.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Wait, I thought you meant at the end. You mean in the series?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, the picture comes back. Well, I'm happy something comes back. You know what I mean? Because sometimes on shows, they just forget some things.
Yeah. And then, Pacey doesn't want Andie to say that this is the last time they'll see each other because she'll be back for graduation and prom. Is that true? I'm thinking maybe one of the things, but maybe not prom. Maybe just graduation.
I don't remember her at prom.
Okay, yeah. And then I was surprised to see after we see the picture, there's an end card that shows the actor David Dukes, who played Andie and Jack's dad, had passed away. 1945 until 2000. I wasn't expecting that since we just saw him in the episode 2. But he did pass away in October of 2000. This aired in November of 2000, so about a month later. And they probably they probably filmed the last episode earlier in the year. So
okay. So what I've my understanding is from listening to other podcasts is they start filming the new seasons in July. Obviously after the 4th and everything.
Yeah.
And it takes 8 days to film, which is a week and a half.
Yeah.
Per episode. This is episode 7. So they've got to be in what month to film this episode?
I don't know. Maybe
September?
I don't know.
Because remember, you got August, September-ish. You've got the Labor Day, which means probably time off for them.
Yeah.
So my thing is he must have just passed away. You know what I mean? From filming this episode.
Well, he was actually filming something else.
I know, and he died out there.
Yeah.
But I looked it up. But I was just like, wow, they must have just filmed this episode. Because it's already episode 7 of the season, was my point. If they start filming in July, episode 1, they can only get through so many for 1 month. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't say that he was going to go with her to Italy at the last second, since he wouldn't be appearing on the show anymore.
Why? And the thing is...
Because they don't say he died, right?
No.
So, yeah, I just figured they would explain some way that he just disappeared.
But, the thing is, too, it would have made more sense, at the beginning of Jack and Andie's entrance. Because, remember, he's not around. Remember? He comes in what? Maybe, at the end of season 2 for her to go to treatment. And the thing is, he's kind of been in and out. But this season 4, it just seems like he's kind of been there. Whether they've said it or they've shown it, he's sort of more in their lives than he has been. And it's just going to be kind of hard to just say he's somewhere else when he's sort of been in their lives now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, and the thing is, would it have been better if they replaced him? Because I hate when they replace actors.
No, it would have been weird.
Yeah. Do you like when they replace them?
No, it doesn't make sense.
Like, it's one thing to replace them before they're on.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, before the scene or before their character is ever introduced to
Mm-hmm.
replace them.
Yeah.
But to replace them when we've already met their character, to me, I hate, you know?
Yeah, like, the recent show I can think at the top of my head that did that was CW's Dynasty with,
Oh my gosh.
what's her name?
Crystal!
No.
What?
Fallon's mom. They changed actors.
Alexis.
Yeah, there you go.
But
'Cause
they've done it. There's been 3 different Crystals.
I know, but I'm parent-wise, I'm thinking,
I'm just saying
Alexis.
character-wise.
Because, like, they had her fall into the fire pit and she had to have face surgery, so that explains a different actress, but...
No, it doesn't.
I mean, that was the best they could come up with, but yeah.
No, it doesn't. I just laughed at that because there's 3 different Crystals.
Yeah.
And it was every season. It felt like, and then I remember like going into season 4. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a new Crystal.
Wasn't the last 2 technically supposed to be the same person?
I think so.
Well, the first one was her own different person that died.
I don't know, because remember then they said the second one was 2.0 Crystal?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make any sense. It just became more weird as it went on.
Yeah. I tried to find out when this was filmed, but I can't find it. All I know is that it aired in Japan August 6th of 2002. What? That's all.
What?
Of this episode. I was trying to find out
when
Dawson's
it was filmed.
Creek? And that's all I'm
Of Dawson's Creek.
What did I say?
I don't know. You didn't
Dawson's
say any
Creek.
show. We've been talking about different shows.
No, Dawson's Creek, yeah.
Well, I didn't know if we were talking about Dynasty or talking about Dawson's Creek.
No, because we were talking about when it was filmed with
well,
the actor. Yeah, I can't find the date for that.
Wait, Japan. Are you talking about the show he was in, the movie or show he was in?
No, Dawson. This episode of Dawson's Creek aired in Japan 2002.
Okay, well, what about the U.S.?
Same date.
Well, then why did you say Japan?
Because that's the only other date I can find. I said I'm trying to find the filming date, but it's only giving me air date and the Japan air date. No filming date. So I thought maybe it would at least give me a month or something of when.
No. So, yeah, that's the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be weird to not see Mr. McPhee. Because I was actually starting to like him.
Yeah.
Like, he turned a corner for me.
Yeah, so I'm glad that at least him and Jack, made up.
Yeah. And yeah, I can't remember what is, said about him. Like, if he leaves town and we know. Like, he goes on a business trip and we never see him again. Like, I forget what happens.
Because their mom disappeared anyways, so...
Yeah, I remember. Where is she at?
She was supposed to go to treatment when Andie did, but they never say, like, where she went or if she's still there.
I guess she's still there.
So, yeah.
She's not at home, so I guess she's still there.
Yeah.
We're just supposed to make our own conclusions.
Basically.
Just like, where's Bodhi?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
baby.
Yeah, they're just gone.
Mm-hmm.
So my high and low... my high is the ending. I liked Andie's speech, and I liked the picture of the 6 of them.
Yeah, me too.
That's my high, and then my low is Pacey and Andie.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how much I hate that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Pretty much the same. For high and low.
Wait, that'd be your low? My low is your low?
Yeah. Well,
I thought you would like the Pacey and Andie.
I mean, it was okay for, like, a scene, but then
because you said last episode he was your favorite, or he was the best, because he was there for Andie when I was against it.
It made sense then, because it just happened,
Well, it just happened, quotes.
Well,
really, it's been a week.
It's been some days now. So, like, they could have maybe just had, like, the one scene about, because she...
Well, the other thing is she's never going back to school.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, they could have had one scene together where he wanted to talk to her about Italy, but that would have been the only thing that made sense. Because she needed her tiebreaker, she said. But besides that, you didn't really need to be with her, so...
Every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the other thing is, normally once you come out of the hospital, you go back to school.
Yeah, or rest at home.
She just never goes back to school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm glad that we're kind of the same. I would rate this an 8. What about you?
7.
Because there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I'm as critical as you.
Okay.
Because I feel like sometimes when I'm like, oh, I like it, and you guys are like, oh, it's okay. You guys give it kind of lower scores.
Yeah.
And so okay, I'll let you go first. What's your best and worst? I want to see if they're the same.
My best was Andie just because she got everybody together. And then the
Wait,
worst.
you didn't say Pacey? I'm just kidding.
No. And then the worst was Drew just because he he told on Jen and kind of made her look like the bad guy even though he was the one that had the drugs too, and like it's like he was trying to like you could tell he was like fake being nice to her. He's like, oh well, we should talk about like what we're gonna do for community service. Wasn't that this episode?
Yep.
Yeah, so I forget because we didn't talk about that, but
yeah, it wasn't really noticeable.
Yeah, like he's just like acting all nice to her, and
that's the way Drew always is.
Yeah, so I just I didn't really care for him in this episode.
Yeah, he's fake. Mm-hmm. So my best was Andie because she finally got them. Oh, okay, not them. I mean, she got them together, and she was worried about that. But also, she got Andie, or she got Jen and Jack to actually reunite, which was good. And then my worst was Drew. I went back and forth between Drew and Mr. Brooks because Mr. Brooks did threaten Dawson that if he would turn him back in. So I was going back and forth, but because they both involved the law.
Yeah.
But Drew was actually turning Jen in, so I was like, you gotta be the worst.
Yeah.
When you're the one that gave her the drugs. So, and you were okay with Andie having them, remember? He's like, oh, fun, Andie. So, yeah, Drew, the worst, yes. And then the next episode is?
Episode 8, The Unusual Suspects.
All right, thanks for listening.
Yep, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Duo Chat. If you want to chime in with your opinion about the episode and the show we discussed, you can email us at duochatpodcast@gmail.com. And to keep up with updates about the podcast, you can follow us at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Duo Chat Podcast. And give us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. We would really appreciate it.